Hello and welcome to first video. This is actually has nothing to do with a specific class. A friend of mine asked me if I can explain to her 5 different functions. Actually, you will be exposed to more than 5 functions, but a couple or 3 of them will be related to each other. The very first one is concatenate function. Concatenate is a word that we use in order to combine 2 texts. Regardless what type or how long is the text. Text usually is a stream of characters, and just like we use usually plus sign or addition to add 2 numbers. We use concatenate in order to combine 2 texts. So assuming that I have a first name, these are the 5 first name and these are the 5 last name, and my ultimate aim is to really concatenate the names in this format. So the first name is going to, the last name is going to be, the last name is going to be coming first, followed by a comma. There is a space and John. I'm going to go ahead and delete those in order for me to demonstrate for you how you're going to use it. And the reason that I have 2 columns with the full name, because there are actually 2 different ways to apply concatenate in Excel. The first one, it's going to be the use of the function concatenate, and the autofill is going to help us greatly by typing first 2 or 3 letters of a function. Excel will provide you with an assistant, so you hit a tab. When you hit the tab, it's going to finish the typing for that function. So how does the concatenate works? Concatenate as a function, it works by taking multiple parameters. So every value that you wanted to combine in a longer text or a string, it's going to be separated from the next to it by a comma. Some of these strings that you're going to concatenate are variable, like John is a variable, or a parameter is a better choice of a word, a parameter that we're going to give to the function, because we don't know what is going to be in A4. I could change easily John to Mary, and that's not going to affect the concatenation. So I don't want that to be really a problem, because notice we're going to apply the same thing for 4 other people, or 400 other people, or 4,000 other people. It doesn't matter. Once we do it correctly for one concatenation, we could apply it to as many as we have. So the second parameters that I'm going to hand to the concatenate, in addition to the first name John, it's going to be this time a constant, or literal string, meaning literally as it is. And if I wanted to add something literally as it is, I have to enclose it between double quotation. So I need the comma. If you recall, we started with a last name, comma, space. Space is a character, and it has to be enclosed in the double quotation in order to show. If you don't put a space, it's going to really look ugly. You're going to have the last name, comma, and first name. That comma outside of the double quotation, it has nothing to do with the comma inside the quotation. It has to do with telling concatenate, look, I'm giving you another variable or literal string. In this case, I'm giving it another variable, which happens to be the name Smith. Of course, I made a mistake. No big deal. This is supposed to be Smith, and this is supposed to be the first name. So look, when you use the mouse to click, it's much easier to correct yourself. Actually, I'm glad I didn't make the mistake, so you'll see how easy it is to correct it. Here we go. We got John Smith, comma, John. And now we have Al Woods, we have Sam Roberts, Susie Jackson, Mary Perez. I could easily click on the fill handle, which is the lower right corner, and I click on it twice very quickly. Don't take a nap between the 2 clicks, and you will be able to really see everything that we hope to do is right there. Notice also, in addition to the double click, you could drag the fill handle down. It will do it, because the double click doesn't work all the time. It works only when you have data adjacent to that range that you wanted to fill. I use concatenate as a function. Now I'm going to be using the concatenate operator. The result or the end result is identical, except it's up to you to which style you want it to use. For example, here I could go ahead and use equal sign, which is always used to create a calculation. It's going to be actually Smith first, then we're going to use the ampersand or the and sign or shift 7 that actually give me the concatenation operator. So I'm not using a function. In this case, I'm using a formula that is going to do the same exact job. So I'm going to go ahead and concatenate Smith with the constant strings, including the comma. And now we have another concatenation operator, which is to go ahead and do John. So if you prefer this method, it's good for you. You could use it, okay? Some people have used this for years. Now they prefer concatenate function, which is a lot easier. So this is my very first function. And now we're going to move to left, right. So first of all, I'm going to delete all these. So we could go ahead and elaborate on the result. What I'm trying to do before I delete this, I wanted to get the house number from this long string, which is the four character from the left. Then I'm going to get the zip code, which is the last 5 characters from the right. Also, later I'm going to be daring in order to actually extract the full address or the street address along with the house number for that house. So we're going to actually look for the comma as an indication to how far we need to go and back off 1 character in order to extract 1, 2, 3, 5 comma long road. So this is give a little bit more live to the explanation of this type of function, because to extract only the house number and the zip code is not really that much to do. So let's go ahead and get, first of all, learn how to get the first characters, which 1, 2, 3, 5. I'm calling them characters because when you combine digits with letters or string, or all of them going to be referred to as a character, meaning there is no mathematical connotation to the 1, 2, 3, 5. So first of all, we start with left. That's the function named left. And we're going to click on the whole string that we're going to manipulate. And I want to go as far as 4, which is very easy. I mean, this is trivial because you wanted to extract only 4 of them, which we ended up getting the house number. Of course, not all the time you would know how far you need to go, and that's why I need to really use the example with the comma. In the zip code, it's better for me to use the right, actually, function, and it's to go ahead and get the strings, but now we're going to extract 5 from right in order to get hold of the zip code. And notice here, I cannot use the double click because it's not going to do anything, but I could use the fill handle to drag it 3 rows down, knowing that I have a 3 corresponding data to do the same thing for the zip code I have, just to be careful. And now we're going to go ahead and show you how to use a unknown number of character. The character that tell me where do I want it to go or how far I need to go is the comma. So in order for me to find the comma, I need to really use another function. It will tell me what is the number or the digits that represent, in this case maybe a number, it's going to represent the location or the position of the character, which is in this case the comma. So I could go ahead and use a function. It's called find, and I'm trying to find what? Between double quotes, the comma. And here we go. We're going to go ahead and see where is the position of the comma is 13. And now I could go ahead and use the same thing, dragging it down. So the position of the comma for the 36909 Court Street is going to be 18. The same thing, the position of the other string, which is 1000 average or average, it's supposed to be Avery. It doesn't matter. Avery Park. Anyway, it doesn't matter because now when we change this, it's actually turned it into 17, which is good to indicate that everything is dynamically done. So now what we can do, we could still use the left, but we wanted to go with this as far as this one here and subtract 1 from it because we don't want to include the comma in it. And as a result, you will see I was able to extract the street number and the street name together. I hope this has helped. I hope there was no confusion about it. We could continue to talk about the trim function, which is the next one. And I wanted to go ahead and show you the end result of the function. There is no spaces before the name or after the name. So we're going to go ahead and delete that. We're going to go ahead and start with equal trim. Trim what? Trim anything that considered to be a space before the name. And here we go. Sally Jones also has spaces. Look at Miriam Smith has multiple spaces. It will correct it for me. Trim is very, very easy function. I like this proper, upper, and lower. And we're going to go ahead and make sure that we could relate to very easily. As you notice here, Sam Hijazi, both of them are not proper listing. Every name must be started with a capital letter. So in order for me to get both proper way of, I use the word proper or function proper, and then I could go ahead and give this. Notice how it's going to capitalize for me the S in Sam and the H in Hijazi. If we do the same thing with Abir Hijazi, that's the name of my sister, I'm going to be able to get a capital A and the last name already been proper. The same thing with John, it's going to lowercase. See here, go ahead and do that quickly for us. I'm using the same function, proper, so it did actually work very nicely with all of them. But let's go ahead and apply for the second name for Abir. Is going to be the upper. So if I use upper here, and I put Abir Hijazi here, and you will be able to see that everything is going to be capitalized because now I'm forcing it to use the function upper, and it's going to be capitalized, all of them capitalized. The same thing here, if I wanted to go ahead and say lower, so it's going to actually take everything and turn it into a lowercase. Those, you use them accordingly, whatever you want, as long as you know the difference between proper, upper, and lower. Let's come to deal with a very powerful function. It's called text. There is no way I could cover the function text in the few minutes that left for this video. I don't want to go on forever because that's going to be boring. If I continue beyond that's like maybe 2 or 3 minutes, and we should be done. Let's assume that we have a 3 names. We have John, Miriam, Al, and this is actually their salaries. And the new salary is going to be based on 5% raise. So if it's 5% raise, it's going to be this multiplied by a fixed value, 5%, and that's the actually added to the original salary in order to get the new salary. And now it's 58,000 something, and that's exactly correct. So now we have the new salary. How about if I wanted to tell this individual that his or her salary was this and her new salary is this, and I could take that and put everything into one single cells. And I don't know if you know about mail merge. We could take that statement into Word and mail merge the whole sentence and send it as a full letter to them. So let's go ahead and do it quickly. It's going to be a long sentence, so I'm going to go ahead and put it here. Then I'm going to drag it down 3 times in order to reflect all the name. So I'm going to start with equal. I'm going to say here as a constant string, congratulations, okay, and space, of course. And now what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and put the ampersand, or I could use the function concatenate, but you will see where we're going to get to use a text function. First of all, I'm going to make the mistake of not using it to see the impact of not using it. Then I'm going to apply it very quickly. I'm saying here concatenate whatever the name, ampersand. I'm going to say here comma, of course, after this after the name. I'm going to say your old salary was, and I'm going to go ahead and close that because I'm going to get the data from here, and another concatenation operators, and your new salary is, and close that double quotation because that's a literal string, ampersand in this. Of course, if I could do it for John, very easily to do it for Miriam and Al, or maybe 1,000 other employees. Notice what happens here. Congratulations, John. So far, so good. Your old salary was 56,000. What happens when we concatenated a numerical, our currency value? Because the concatenation immediately remove any sort of formatting. And you, of course, we forgot a space here before and or after the salary. And your new salary also removed everything has to do with the format with the currency from the new salary. So what is the best things to do? The best thing to do is to go ahead, click on the cell twice to edit this. And first of all, I'm going to go ahead and use the function text. Function text not only deals with currency and formatting, it deals with dates and times and many other things. So I'm going to take the old salary, and between double quotation, I'm going to put the $sign, and remember the pound sign represents a number, and comma, meaning I need a comma after 3 digits if the salary got too big, which is in this case, it will be big enough. And also .00, I need a decimal point, 2 digit to the right of the decimal point because currency has those. So notice here, if I click that, how cool it is. Now I could go ahead and notice that we did actually the right formatting, and I could click on it, no big deal. I could go ahead and put the space here, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and copy this, copy and paste it. The only thing I have to be conscious about it is to change B8 to C8. So now the whole thing is going to be, congratulations, John, your old salary was exactly the right format, and your new salary is the exact right format. Even I could put actually here concatenation and put between double quotes the dot, so it will be a full sentence. And notice here I could go ahead and drag this twice. Notice that 2 times down. Notice that the same thing I could get for Miriam and for Al. So this is one example of text function, but let's go ahead and use the text with the date. For example, if I have a date 07/06/2012, and if I have another date 08/02, and I have 2000. So what we have here, we have 2 dates, short date we call them because they only represent the month and the date and day and the. How about if I wanted to format this date into an actual word for the month, an actual word for the day, and of course the year is going to be a number. So text would be very helpful. I would go ahead and use the text for this format, and I wanted to go ahead and put double quotation. I'm going to say MMM, 4 M's. If I use 3 M's, it's going to be short name for the month. If I use double M's, it's going to be the number for that month. But if we have 2 M's, then it's going to be 07 instead of 7. Then we're going to put www, that's mean, I'm sorry, DDDD, that's the full day, meaning Wednesday. And then if you have 3 of them, it's going to give you a short day. Then we have YYY, and that's for the year. Of course, don't forget to close the double quotes. Always the double quotes comes in pairs. And here we go, we got July, Friday, 2012. And in this case, I could use a different type of format. So if I wanted to go ahead and get this, and I wanted to go ahead and put DD, and I want to go ahead and say YY. So actually I'm changing the YY from 4 digit to 2 digit. And notice how it ended up putting the 0 in front of the 8, also the 0 in front of the 2, and the 0 for the actual year, meaning this is your 2000. So I hope you enjoyed this, and if you really enjoyed it, let me know so I could get you additional videos for the future. And thank you for my friend who really asked me to do this. I have enjoyed recording it for you guys. Take care.